It's another edition of Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Federal government commissions new 330 by 132 by 33 kV transmission substation in Damaturu. Procurement for 72 billion naira distribution expansion plan on track, MD TCN states. TCN recently commissioned a 2 by 40 MVA 132 by 33 kV substation at Yauri in Kebbi State. Core stakeholders in the state spoke to Power Wheel about their views on the project at the commissioning ceremony. We urge you to stay with us as we keep you informed on Power Wheel. I am Chinwenwa Anyanwu. President Muhammadu Buhari has commissioned a new 330 by 132 by 33 kV transmission substation built by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, in Damaturu, the Yobe State capital. President Buhari, who was represented by the Minister of Environment, Hassan Suleiman Zarma, said the event marked another milestone in the quest to take the nation's power sector to the next level of efficacy and relevance.
This substation project began in 2006 when the contract was awarded to Cadillac International Engineering, but due to non-performance and delay in implementation, TCN took over the project and completed it in August 2018. After the installation had been completed, the 150 MVA transformer and 75 MVAR reactor were energized on the 13th September 2018, while the 60 MVA 132 by 33 kV transformer was put to service on 3rd October 2018. This enables supply through Bunyadi, Damaturu, and Babangida outgoing feeders.
The new power infrastructure in the Northeast state has significantly improved bulk power delivery for onward supply through Yola Disco to electricity users across over 6 major towns of the state.
The major towns to benefit from this project include Ganjarma, Gaidam, Dapchi and Damaturu Township. The commissioning of this substation could not have been at a better time, taking into consideration the increased generation to more than 7,000 megawatt, transmission to more than 8,000 megawatts, and the federal government's plan to reach 20,000 megawatts in the next few years through the ongoing transmission rehabilitation and expansion program by TCN.
The president commended the management of TCN for the cost-effective completion of the projects.
I am happy, ladies and gentlemen, to commend the initiatives of the new TCN management who have adopted the regional empowerment and in-house project completion strategies that made this project realizable. I congratulate the management and engineers of TCN for completing and energizing this substation in-house and at minimal cost.
The governor of Yobe State, Alhaji Ibrahim Gaidam, represented by the deputy governor, Abubakar Aliu, commended the federal government for the efforts towards improving the power sector.
This gathering is aware that in the past 2 decades, we began to experience notorious decrepit state of electric power grid, prone to frequent and often prolonged blackouts in Nigeria. I wish to state that the unreliability of the national power grid prior to the inception of present All Progressive Congress APC-led federal administration has opened market for generator business and fuel, with which to run them, thereby making cost of production of local goods very high, in addition to closure of many companies and factories. Thanks to the efforts of the federal government under the visionary and pragmatic leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, the situation is different and Nigerians have now been enjoying enhanced power supply, and the generation capacity has also been improved from less than 3,000 megawatts to over 7,000 megawatts. I urge the Honorable Minister and the Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria to keep the tempo of good work to enable us to record even greater successes.
The Wazir of Damaturu, Alhaji Maisan Dalawal, who represented the Emir of Damaturu, Alhaji Dr. Shehu Hashimi II, commended the President and the key stakeholders for the efforts. He said,
"We are very grateful. The people of Damaturu are very grateful. And we thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Yobe State, Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Gaidam, who supported to see that this work has been done. And inshallah, we are with Mr. President, we are with Alhaji Ibrahim Gaidam, and I wish all those that have come from Pioneer to see the opening of this occasion, wish them a successful journey, Mercy. Thank you, sir."
The Managing Director CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Muhammad, said there was a direct relationship between poverty level and access to electricity as experienced in the Northeast, where low-voltage electricity had hampered robust economic activities before the new power infrastructure was built.
The Northeast house areas that are farthest from the nearest generation station. And if they are served on a low-voltage electricity of 11 kV and 33 kV, the quality of power is so low that it cannot do economic activity. Part of what we can do to recover our people from poverty is to ensure that we have reliable and quality power supply to our people. And that is why we are told to do everything we can, including taking over contract from contractors that have failed to complete, like this one, and we completed it through in-house capacity.
He commended the support provided by the Governor of Yobe State, Alhaji Ibrahim Gaidam, and security agencies for TCN to complete the substation project within 3 months.
You can see this third road. This third road was also done by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Yobe State. This is a partnership between federal government and state government, and this is a commendable thing from His Excellency. Now, with the commission of this substation, it means reliable power has been provided in Yobe. And from this substation, we are building 132 kV line that will supply Gashua and Nguru. And we plan to put a 132 kV substation in Baimari so that we can supply Gaidam. It's also on record, we have completed a plan to build a 132 kV line and substation to places like Manguno, Marte, Dikwa, Bama, Goza, Gulag, Mubi, Hong, Chibok, Wuba, Buniadi, Kwayakusar, Jada, Ganye. All those places will have 132 substations and lines.
Mr. Mohammed urged the people in the Northeast and the state governments to work towards resolving issues around power transmission lines right-of-ways to speed up the construction of those new power lines for more bulk power delivery.
As you want to use this opportunity to solicit for the support of the state government and the people of Damaturu and Borno State and the entire Northeast, that they should give support to Transmission Company of Nigeria, which is directed by the President to provide quality power to the people of the area. Because with that support, we'll be able to radiate all the 132 kV line and substation that we want to have.
The federal government has reached advanced stage in the procurement process for the 72 billion naira distribution expansion plan as an intervention to improve the distribution subsector of the power sector.
The Managing Director CEO of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Muhammad, disclosed this recently after the commissioning of 2 units of 60 MVA transformer at Suleja substation in Niger State. Mr. Mohammed noted that while available capacity for power transmission has risen to 8,100 megawatts, generation capacity is at 7,500 megawatts, adding that distribution, which is over 5,000 megawatts, needs to be improved. He said various initiatives have been put in place by the federal government to fix the distribution side of the power sector value chain.
There are various initiatives that have been put in place to fix the distribution, because part of the key challenge of distribution is also metering. And if you remember, there is this map that has been approved by NAC. People have been licensed to procure and sell meters. Very soon meters will flood the system so that everybody will have a meter.
Addressing newsmen on the distribution expansion plan, which is one of the initiatives for fixing power distribution issues, Mr. Mohammed said,
if you remember, government has also come up with the distribution expansion plan, which is about 72 billion naira, which TCN is jointly implementing with the Ministry of Power. This is going on, and there are several other initiatives to fix distribution. We have substantially completed the procurement of about half of them, half of the 72 billion. You know, procurement takes time. You have to forward it to BPP. You have to advertise. You have to evaluate. So this is where we are.
He said the ministry was working with the distribution companies discussed to fix the biggest problems with the funds so that they can take more electricity that is available to their customers.
We have completed the evaluation and we are forwarded to BPP. We are waiting for the no objection. We are looking at the key constraints in the distribution side to resolve them. Key constraints in the distribution network. You know, the distribution generally have problems, but we will look at the biggest problem and eliminate them with that money. That's how it is. But generally, distribution have to get investment. We TCN, it is in our interest and in the interest of even the expansion we are doing, that there are some investment coming into distribution. Because if you look at out of the 738 interfaces that we have with the discourse, only 421 is completely covered by protection. Meaning the remaining 300 and something is not covered by protection, which means that any fault on people's house can hit our transformer. And that has led to several of our transformers getting bad.
On the Suleja substation, the TCN managing director said the capacity had risen from 66 megawatts to 162 megawatts with installation of the multiple transformers. It has improved bulk power delivery to improve electricity supply hours across communities in the area. Mohammed said in the last 2 years, TCN in-house engineers had been empowered to install many transformers across the nation. The next action plan, according to him, is to reconduct major transmission lines to enable them carry more bulk power to those substations from the various power generation stations.
We are going to buy conductor and we are going to reconduct some of those lines, and I can tell you between 2,000 to 3,000 megawatts will be recovered, which means that we are going to add between 2,000 to 3,000 megawatts by changing conductor and increasing the conductor by adding additional capacity. I can give you some of those lines that we are going to change the conductor. From Ikeja West to Alimosho to Ogba to Alausa, and also Ogba to Ota. We are going to recover nothing less than 500 megawatts around that line, because we have so many transformer capacity that the lines cannot take. Now, if you look at from Onitsha to Oka and then to Oji River also, there is significant capacity that we're going to recover there, because we're going to reconduct the line. Then from Kaduna to Zaria to Funtua to Gusau, we're also going to do the same thing. Now the same thing from Birnin Kebbi to Sokoto, also from Kumbotso to Dangagundi, and also from Kumbotso to Dakata, and then from Kumbotso also to Hadeja. We're all going to reconduct those lands and several other places across the country.
Key stakeholders in Kebbi State have expressed their views on the impact of the newly commissioned 2x40 MVA 132 by 33 kilovolt transmission substation in Yauri town. They spoke of the impact of the infrastructure in improving industrialization and boosting economic activities in the state.
The governor of Kebbi State, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar Bagodu, was among the key stakeholders who spoke to Power Wheel on the sidelines after he had commissioned substation recently in Yauri town of the state. Bagudu said he was grateful to President Buhari, the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, and to the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
I feel elated and I congratulate the TCN management and staff and thank them for a wonderful job. I congratulate the Emir, His Royal Highness the Emir of Yauri, and indeed all the good people of Kebbi State for yet again another important milestone that will boost the economic prosperity and welfare of our people. I want to thank President Muhammadu Buhari, as Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Pashola, and specifically the Managing Director, EDs and staff of TCN, who have been so wonderful that they took over this job from the contractor and delivered it.
Governor Bagudu said, with the new infrastructure in place, his government will work to promote industrialization to boost economic activities in Yauri and across the state.
We already have some of them lined up. We want the TCN MD to come back here next year, and because of proliferation of industries, to think of bringing another one. In addition to the the gracious approval they have given for the Zuru, Kwantagora Zuru 132 kVA line and the new 330 kV line that is coming into Kebbi, going to Fakonsariki in Aragungu and up to Sokoto and Katsina.
The Emir of Yauri, Alhaji Dr. Muhammad Zayanu Abdullahi, in his remarks explained how Yauri Emirate has suffered from protracted low electricity voltage. He spoke of the steps he took to turn the tide.
Once more, we thank Almighty Allah, and may this substation to be of benefit not only to Yauri but to the whole country. Thank you very much.
A former governor of the state, Alhaji Adamu Alero, told Power Wheel that he was delighted on the substation's delivery 15 years after he began pushing for its construction. He said,
"We're happy that the project has been completed and the benefits are enormous. Certainly it will bring quite a number of industries in this area. As we actually had, it will serve over 8 local government areas in Kebbi State. So we are very delighted, we are very pleased, and we congratulate the MD of TCN for making this possible."
The senator representing Kebbi South Senatorial Zone, Senator Bala Ibn Allah, said he was glad the substation project was completed during his own time at the Senate. He had visited the management of TCN in 2018, along with other delegate officials from the governor's office, towards bringing the project to fruition.
I must be excited in view of the fact that, a lot of efforts have been put into this, and then God has destined that it will happen during my own time, and then you have had the acknowledgement of the effort I have put in trying to bring it to fruition. So thanks be to Almighty Allah, and then I wish Yauri people and Zuru people will benefit immensely from this gesture by TCN through the magnanimity of President Muhammadu Buhari.
We're bringing you more reports in the Power Flash segment. Please don't go away. Building capacity of electricity workers is key to the growth of the power sector, says the Managing Director, CEO of the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA, Mr. Peter Ewoso.
The Managing Director, CEO of NEMSA, who was briefing newsmen on the activities of the agency in Abuja recently, said,
"No matter what facilities you put in place, if you don't put the workforce into proper perspective, it's like you put a machine down and you bring a blind man to say, please open the door for me. So under the year period under review, we've actually trained our staff, specialized training in which we actually make sure the consultant brought specialized experts from developed economy of Germany, India, and local capacity, because whatever we do, we want to make sure that we localize the technology so that we ourselves can advance and grow. Because any technology that you take and you do not make it work within the environment, then that technology will actually be of a mirage.
Mr. Eweso, who is also the Chief Electrical Inspector of the Federation, said the federal government was very concerned about people encroaching on right-of-way for power transmission and distribution lines across the country. To check this, he said,
we've been shouting about the right-of-way, which is equally another very an eyesore, which has increased the level of electrical accident and electrocution nationwide. And to these two, we've equally issued an enforcement order which starts with, first, disconnect anybody, either factory, houses, structures that are within the right of way, 330 kV power lines, 132 kV, 33 or 11, remove them, disconnect them first. But the eventual thing is that at the highest level, they must actually be relocated. And on the basis of this enforcement order, it is no longer permitted for anybody to construct any installation and it is connected.
Speaking about the compliance on this enforcement, he said many distribution companies, DISCOs, are ensuring that buildings constructed under 330, 132 kV power transmission lines are disconnected along with those under distribution service lines to forestall any electrical accident.
The TCN too and all the DISCO are to disconnect anybody who is there within the right of way.
Eweso said his agency has raised its capacity to test more meters to ensure their quality and reliability ahead of planned massive metering deployment to be realized through the Meter Asset Providers MAP regulation.
Because we know that the explosion of meter will soon occur, we've actually taken the initiative to develop additional meter test stations. We have commenced the one in Enugu. That is actually at advanced stage, and I'm sure by the third quarter it will be completed.
He spoke about the agency's engineering and chemical laboratory in Lagos, which he said was in use during the defunct NEPA PHCN time, but that NEMSA took it over in 2014 and upgraded it. He said the remodeled facility can now accommodate contemporary testing activities for all power sector transformers and other materials that are in use in Nigeria.
It is where you carry out the chemical analysis of electrical fluid materials that we use in plants and equipment. We call, if you hear about transformer, there's oil inside transformer. That oil's work is cooling of the transformer and at the same time providing insulation. So if you use a very bad oil for the transformer, the lifespan will be short, and then at the same time the transformer will pack up. And then two, there are some toxic chemicals which have been banned worldwide, which if they are not properly checked out, the analysis are not properly done, you use them and the person just take them and throw them away on the street, and somebody gets in touch with them, it can cause a lot of things.
The facility was commissioned recently by the Minister of Power Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola.
We're glad you followed through on this edition. Join us next week on the same station for another edition of Power Wheel. This episode and the previous ones are available on our YouTube channel. You can also connect with us on these other platforms showing on your screen. TCN is committed to wielding power for national development. I am Chinwenwa Anyao. Goodbye.